On the rebound today after that 7% drop yesterday, company losing upwards about $70 billion in valuation after Musk announced he's launching the America Party. And that has got one of Wall Street's biggest Tesla bulls on edge. I think that's fair to say. He says it's time for the board to step in and set some ground rules for Musk when it comes to his political ambitions. Wedbush's 댄'ai브스 is the man in question. He joins us now to break it all down. Did you see what Musk tweeted? I'm sure you did. In response to this, he said, "Shut up, Dan." Now, the best part about this is the first thing you suggest here clears a path for a merger with Musk's other company, xAI. Obviously, then some guardrails, oversight on political endeavors. Just elaborate a little bit on why you think it's all necessary.
Look, I mean, this soap opera, I think, has taken on a life of its own. And I think the board's the only one that could step in to set guardrails. So our whole view is hearing from shareholders the last, 48 hours. Patience is wearing thin. There's exhaustion. I think when you look at the three things, I mean, one, we talk about give him 25% voting control. And I think that's important because that would clear the path.
What does he have right now?
So if you look 14%, 15%, but 25% is very important because that would essentially get him to what I ultimately view as a merger with xAI. And I think that's something a lot of investors want to see.
Why is that so important that he could merge with xAI? It sounds like another distraction practically.
Sure, and maybe at first glance, but I think the reality is that would create an AI stalwart. And I think the whole thing here from Musk is to have all of his AI ecosystem under one hood.
To help Tesla specifically, or just in, because what I'm trying to understand is xAI important to Tesla having robo-taxi dominance, or would you just prefer that Tesla is the company that owns the AI ambitions of any kind that he's working on?
It's a great question. I think especially on robo-taxi and autonomous, xAI could be the game changer if you combine them. And it's also the view when you think about humanoids, you think of robotics, to have this all under one roof. But that does not happen unless he has 25% voting control. Remember, the $56 billion pay package, that's still in contention from Delaware. So this is the time for the board. Rip the Band-Aid off. That's the first thing. However, but 2 and 3, we talk about. The second, you need to have some sort of guardrails, and oversight in terms of the time he's spending at Tesla, generally.
Well, and I saw people joking, what do you want him to do, like punch in? How, especially for somebody like Musk, how do you actually set guardrails? Is it enough to just simply have a statement of intent communicated, or does this need to go a step further?
Look, I think you don't necessarily need, it's not clocking in and clocking out, but Tesla shareholders, part of the frustration, part of the underperformance is the best asset, biggest asset for Tesla is Musk. Musk is Tesla, Tesla is Musk. And they have never needed him more than today, given the autonomous, given the AI future. But then also goes to that third point, the political gamble, whether it's the third party, America's party. I mean, it's a lose-lose situation for investors from a Tesla perspective. And I think you need some sort of oversight. He could do what he wants, of course, but some sort of oversight that if that ultimately conflicts with his responsibility as CEO, put the guardrails on.
Then what, though? What would the then what be, or do we even know what that would be?
Then I think it's the board establishing some control, because you cannot have Musk continue to go down this path at the time that's so crucial. And it goes back to what me and you have talked about for the last few months. You're in DOGE, you're in Trump administration, pulls back, that's a huge positive, and you saw the stock reflect it. Now it's almost worse, because you start a third party that ultimately becomes a foe relative to Trump Republicans. That's very important for Tesla in the autonomous regulatory framework. It's not what you want to see.